Welcome back to another item here in the rental business. This is called a 20-pound breaker, concrete breaker, electric breaker actually. And this is by Bosch, a very good brand of commercial braking pieces of equipment. Now, when you're going to do some concrete work, this is a multi-purpose tool for many different jobs, as you see with all the different attachments that you can put in them. Now, that all has a limit. Now I can give you detailed specifications. 20 refers to foot-pounds. We could talk about braking force. We could talk about all these kind of technical things. But when you come down to it and you want to rent something, you're going to ask somebody, what size should I get? Or if you borrowed one or you have one, is it going to do the job you want it to do? That's the key point. Remember, there's many different sizes. They all have a limit. This particular model is very common. It's a nice size for doing horizontal jobs because it's a little lighter. You'll use points and chisels with this here for breaking up concrete, breaking away brickwork or anything. This is a wider chisel, 3-inch chisel. You can use this as common to take off ceramic tile rather than sitting there with your hammer and chisel trying to get tile off. You'll use this particular item. And the nice thing about these hammers is that when you pull the collar down, you put the piece in, you turn it until it drops into the hammer, and when you turn this lever to the side, you can turn this in any position, so that this might be the position you want to use it in. You can lock it there, and you can turn this to hammer action only, or you can turn it in the other direction to point to hammer and drill. So you can do drilling as well as using it as a percussion tool, as a chisel, electric chisel. Now, when you're doing items like tile and that, excuse me, a good tip is put the handle up in the air. And I'll tell you why, because many people want to chisel like this, or they'll put the safety handle to the side over here, and they're doing this. The problem is you're getting down so close, you're always rubbing on the cord sticking out on the bottom of the tool. Eventually, sharp tile, concrete you're taking off, it cuts through the cord. And thereby, you're not going to be doing anything if you cut through the cord. You can alleviate that by just putting it in this position. It's actually easier to use. You can get lower, you can get the angle you want, and it does provide the safety of factor that you're not going to be cutting through your cord. Now, also on these hammers, you can adjust the hitting force going down to 1, or you can go all the way up to 6. And that will make the hammer either hit harder down at the lower numbers, or the higher numbers harder and the lower numbers very gentle. Say you're around some brick around a fireplace and you just want to lightly chip it out, then you'll keep it down to 1 or 2. You can use this tool. This is the flooring tool. Maybe you want to take off some tile, linoleum. You would put this in place of this 3-inch chisel. A little shovel. Let's say we're gonna put in a sump pump. You're in some clay or dirt. You can put this shovel in and put it into the hammer mode only, and use it as an electric shovel. That saves you from trying to get in there with a pick and little shovels. Very easy. If it's clay, you just hold it and it just peels right off, goes right into your soil. Nice thing to have. Say we're going to drive some steel stakes into the ground. This is a smaller tool, but you can put this in, put your reinforcing rod, say, in, and drive that into the ground using one of these here, a stake driver. Probably the most common that people get them for is using it for drills and core bits. Now this one here, we usually say go up to about a 3.5-inch core bit. The reason is we don't know how hard the material is you're doing. We don't know whether it's stone, concrete, poured concrete, block. So to ensure that you're going to have enough hitting force as you get up into core bits, which these are, this is a 3.5-inch core bit for a 3.5-inch hole. Make sure that you have enough hitting force by getting a hammer big enough. And as you see through other videos, you'll see some of the other sizes that we're going to recommend. So here's a little 2-inch core bit. Here's a 3.5-inch core bit. Solid bit, 1.5 inches, and down to about a 1/2 inch, and there's all sizes in between. Now, the big thing to remember when you have these kind of commercial pieces of equipment is the drive. Lots of people may have gotten one, or maybe they have a drill. They think they're going to put it into this piece of equipment, but they all have a direct drive. This is called SDS Plus drive, and the SDS refers to a slotted drive system, and it has various cuts in it, so it is positive, unlike your chuck that you would have in your normal drill, and where it just locks onto the diameter. This has an actual drive that'll fit right in the slot, so you don't get that slippage. So these lock right in. They're not the same as using with your home drill. And don't forget you're drilling concrete, a hard surface. These aren't used for wood. They're not used for metal. You're not using this to drill through ceramic tile. Because of the percussion action, you'll crack it. So this is concrete, either on the floor, the wall, block, anything of a masonry material, your bricks, anything in that area. So a little tip as well when you're using core bits. Some core bits, all these center bits here do is press into the back by friction. Some have a little pin to hold them in, but in this particular one they're pressed in, and all the purpose of this center bit is to, as you put it up against the wall, that this is stop it from walking around. It stays in one position. But once it gets past this height here that you can see and you're into the carbide, then it starts cutting in. Then if this gets loose, especially when you're cutting block, because block has a void in the middle, that little bit can be just rattling, and that could fall into your block. And you may be able to fish it out, you may be able not to, but to avoid that, when you pull it out, go in only about halfway, pull it out, see if your center bit's loose. If it is at all, just take it out and put it in your pocket. You don't need it anymore. You've got your holes already started. So just a little tip so you don't lose these center bits. This one here with the rubber ring around it, this one actually is going over top of a little pin that holds it in with a pin that goes on the side of this to stop that from coming out. So there are different types, and just be aware of it, and err on the side of caution when you do use those so you don't lose the center bit. So there you go. There's a little overview of the 20-pound electric hammer, and don't forget to subscribe.